Africans are mourning everywhere. They're mourning all over the place. Like, oh no, you can't have this. Guys, just walk out. This is the opportunity for you to make your own. This is the chance for you to be free. It's like the war in Ukraine. What it showed to the world is that, to the rest of the world, the developing world, whatever you want to call that, is that you have to have your own currency. Now you have countries like those under the influence of France who are using a French owned currency, which they don't use themselves. So that currency is used in Cameroon, and you can't, you have two regions for it. So you have the one for the West African states, and you have the one for the Central African states, and they're not interchangeable. But not just that, you can't carry that currency and take it to France and change it and use it there, or even exchange it there. It's not exchangeable. So the simple question is, you show me one country in the world that has managed to develop its economy and
develop
using someone else's currency. That does not exist. So you're bound here to invent something. Well, you've got theory in your head, but there's no practice. And why there's no practice? Because people have tried that. It didn't work. So that's why everybody ended up creating their own currency and being able to develop. So what is Africa waiting for? And you have countries like Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger, who are coming together and showing the way. And still, the African leaders like the Ivory Coast and Cameroon and Gabon and stuff, they're just there watching. Like, this does not concern us. What do you mean this does not concern us? You're using someone else's currency. You see, like the other day, there's shortage of petrol in Cameroon. And the reason why there's shortage is because they say that Cameroon has not paid. The Cameroon government did not pay Total, who's a company, where they get the oil from. But Cameroon, this is crazy with Africa, and we don't learn. Like you say, if you get cocoa, don't sell it raw. Transform it there. Make sure any partnership that you get involved, and that's what you see in Saudi Arabia and stuff. They'll say, you open a company, you need to get a local involved in that company. It can't be owned 100%. So get the guy to come and do it there. So that way you learn. You learn. You have some form of control. So you will
economic benefits as well.
It's all positive. The economic benefit, you give people jobs. You will learn the trade, like the skills to do it. So even if they go tomorrow, you can continue to produce this. But no, you take your raw material, ship them like 5,000 miles away.
For it to then come back.
For it to then come back with a massive surcharge. Like your own coffee that you sold for £1, you end up buying one little portion, like 1% of it, for like £5. I mean, how does that make sense? The money is there within the final product, the transformation.
We've got the same problem. And this is a discussion I was having with my cousin as well, just yesterday. It's the same thing. We've got all the raw materials, but we just don't have the
knowledge,
the knowledge, B, the leadership, and C, the lack of corruptness. To actually, there's a lot of corruption.
All the corruption,
because often these people they'll just someone in power, they'll just give them X benefits. They'll be short-sighted because they're okay.
Yes.
Then
what they do usually is that they will sign a contract with such a company, and they will get some kickback from that contract. So they say, okay, $10 million, and then they'll get like $1 or $2 million kickback.
And for them, their eyes light up. For them, oh my gosh, that's a lot of money.
Well, it's a lot of
for
money
them, but it's not really
for one person, but not thinking about
big picture.
The big picture, the group. And while you're doing these, other countries are advancing towards kind of a better position. It's all about positioning. You look there in the United Nations, you've got 5 countries in the world that have control and the power of veto and stuff.
Mm.
What about the other 54 countries in Africa?
Mm.
What would they represent?
Mm.
They have the highest population, they have the bigger population, but they have
No
no
say.
representation, not say whatsoever in what happened there. And the guys there are cool with this. They're just fine to run it like that. Only those new leaders coming now are saying, oh no, that can't be right. And the young people coming today and say, well, social media, we can see the story, we can oh well, so you made apartheid legal. It was legal, right? So you made slavery legal. It was legal, right? So why do you want us to follow you in every step that you take? For example, say, okay, we have to legalize homosexuality now. But then it was illegal here before. So when they change their mind, or they find a new salvation, or they get the Holy Spirit, they move on to something else and say, oh, this is what is truth now. Forget about that one. We don't do that again. We don't do that anymore. This is the new thing that we're doing now. So I heard a debate there, they saying, well, look, in the church, we're just going to what they say they're going to do to the gay? Is it blessing or is it?
Yeah, the now.
Because
I didn't read the story.
It's not what you think. It's not the same. That's what we do. No. Forget about the marriage. That's coming next. It's not the same as if we were. What they call it? What's it called that word? Blessing. Is it blessing? The Church of England started this, right?
The Church of
The
England,
Church of England did
started a
this,
lot of
like,
things,
yeah,
including divorce.
They started these like maybe about 6 or 8 months ago, when the Church of England said that now they can allow gay people to be blessed in church and everything, etc., etc. Then they pushed it to the Catholic Church. So now the Catholic Church came there and said, well, this is exactly the same plan. The plan is, this is where we want to reach. This is the goal that we want to reach here. But we can't just jump from here to there. So what we will do, we will actually do it using some small steps. Okay?
People
and every time we'll remind people that we're not aiming for that one.
But in actual fact, you're getting
we're moving towards that one. So I remember it as if it was yesterday when they started introducing they started making some noise, like some gay group or gay I don't know, right group or whatever, pressure group or activists and stuff. They started harassing it was a generalized kind of war. They were attacking the politicians, they were attacking the members of the clergy, the church, religion, etc., all at once. And the people who gave in first, I was the parliamentary people, like the parliament.
Of course, because
the prime minister.
They're the easy ones, though.
Yeah, they're the easy ones.
It's votes.
Yes,
it's votes.
So they got the guys to say, oh yeah, we're going to create something, right? But what we're going to create is nothing to do with marriage, because we respect the institution of marriage. Okay?
So politicians get a politician's answer.
Yeah, we're going to create something called the civil partnership, right? Because we respect marriage. We're not aiming to destroy marriage. We're not aiming to, jeopardize the marriage and stuff. We still believe that a marriage should be between the man and the woman. But now these guys also want marriage, but we can't give them marriage because we understand it's between a man and a woman. So we're going to create a civil partnership. Okay? So they create that thing. Then they say, oh, well, that civil partnership that we created is not only for gay people. If there are some heterosexual people who want to use it, they can use it as well. Right? So let's mix everything. But then they come back, they go, well, this is discrimination. Why they create a civil partnership for us anyway? That is discrimination, because well, it tells us that we're not the same as others.
Mm.
So we want marriage. We don't want civil partnership. We are equal human beings, so we should have marriage. And they started banging on the door of marriage. They banging and banging and banging, and then the door just gave up, open, gone. Okay, now you can get married in church if you want. You can get married civil, thing. Then the church here in England allowed the next step. So they go one step at a time, one battle at a time. So let's fight here and get the marriage. So let's get the parliament to change the rules and stuff, and then we get the marriage. And then now let's go to the church there and attack them. Well, the argument is, one of the most recorded argument is that, well, look, that Bible, it was written by people anyway. Either they say they attack the fact that it was written by people, or they just attack the fact that the same Bible says that you can't judge. So you can't judge. Who the hell are you to judge? So you can't judge. Or the other argument is rather that all human beings are equal, should be equal according to the scriptures. I don't think the Bible says that equal, because I think the Bible seems to give the man more power than the woman. I think that's what the Bible does. I might be wrong. So we're gonna have them moving into marriage now with the church. And then the next thing, I don't know. I think there's a period where they had a thing for feminists. They had to fulfill the need or the desire of feminists, which is to put women as preachers or pastors and priests.
I think as pastors, that's been a case for a while, hasn't it?
Yeah, well, even though the Bible does not show you. I don't even know when the Bible shows you one example of one woman who was a preacher or something. No. Well, no, let's get the women there. So get the women there now. Oh, let's get the homosexual there, because they're also human beings and stuff. Okay, we get them in. Oh, well, let's bless the homosexuals as well, marriages and stuff. And that's where we're standing right now. And then some people are saying, well, it's not the same blessing as the other blessing. I mean, I'm telling you that the Catholic Church will reach a position where they will be doing the marriages in there. As for Africa, you need to fuck off. You need to run. Just run. You don't like this, you don't like what you see, just run. Create your own. I mean, like the Church of England, they split from
Henry VIII.
Yeah, you see what I mean? So they didn't like the
lack of divorce.
Yeah, so he wanted divorce and stuff, and they say, oh, we're now Protestant or whatever you want to call it. So they ran away because of that. Why is it that African can't do that? I mean, and what annoys me is that they are such in a position of power, and they just don't realize how much power they've got. It's the whole of Africa. So all the ministers and all the priests that are over there, if they all go in one, it's like saying Uber is banned from Asia. Asia is massive in terms of market. So if the African leaders, religious leaders, decide to walk away from the Catholic Church, well, it's their loss. The African, they're not going to lose anything. However, these guys are telling us
actually gain.
The guys
there's been an increase
we
in
have our
of
own
preachers into like Europe and the UK and whatnot that are African, because there's been a shortage locally, especially within Europe.
So I read some stuff like that. The Christian church or whatever will never get stronger. it's on descent. It's on
going
the slope.
weaker.
Yeah, it's just going to get weaker and weaker and weaker. One of the religion that is going up is actually Islam.
Islam, yeah.
Yeah, the
Muslims, yeah.
That are still recruiting people. I mean, people are jumping from the Christian path and they join the Muslim path. It doesn't really work the other way. You go to church here, what do you see? More and more empty church. The only church that seems to assemble a lot of people are these prophetic kind of church where people go there and they have like a master who is super rich and he's driving Range Rover, you know, expensive cars, he's got nice houses, and he's making a lot of money that he's stealing from the poor people that he administers. So those are the only church that seems to be going, but even then people will realize at some point that
it's not a long-term thing with them.
yes, because they come and go, they come and disappear and stuff. So they realize one day that, oh, these guys, it's actually a business they're doing. They're not.
It's not religion.
It's not religion, it's a business. So we have that, but we have the churches that are getting empty, and those churches are getting transformed into pubs or I don't know, hotels or whatever, you know, the church is usually church. But when you go to America, in America it's still strong there. Christianity is still strong in America. Every corner of the, if you have a junction or something, I'll call it, there's somewhere there's a church. So many churches, and the churches are full there in America, which is a bit different here. You'll find young people, the you know, a wide demographic kind of picture there, young, you know, mature kids everywhere. But here, it's only old people that somehow come into contact with faith as they're about to exit this world. That's when it becomes real for them, or scary for them, to the point where, oh, I need to do this. And another thing that helps that is loneliness. You know, like they don't have much contact with the rest of the world, so to them it's an opportunity to socialize and make friends and live a less stressful or boring life. So it's an activity for them in that sense. But young people don't see it as an activity. It's boring. You tell me it's boring. You take young people to a family meeting or something like that, they tell you that is boring. This kid here was telling me he went to Africa. It's a Nigerian kid, born here. He's born here and he went to Nigeria. So he's telling me that he was boring there. So it's showing no interest whatsoever in what is going on there, because that culture, those things that they do, whether they're farming or doing these, he's not used to that. He doesn't recognize the environment.
Resonate with it.
Yeah, he doesn't resonate with him. So he's made for this system. And I said this to one of my friends. I said, you know, the kids that are born here, they are just a lost soul. We love to call them Africans, but they're not. The white people will call them Africans, but they're not. Ultimately, this is the only place they know. So as you complain about the cold all the time, they don't. That's the only thing they know. They know the wind, they know the cold, they know the snow, they know. That's what they know. They don't know the sun there. Now, the difference between you and them is that you somehow experience a different weather in your early life. So, I don't know, maybe it was up to the age of 14 or 15 or 13. Those 13 years you spend them in Africa, living in Africa. And then you come here, and then you look at the cold and you're like, I remember how good it was when I was living in Africa. I wasn't complaining that much about the rain, and the seasons were quite rigid. Like this is with the rain season now, this is the dry season. The dry season now, and what will happen that way. So whereas here, oh God, it's so cold. So you're often thinking about your exit. You're always thinking about your escape. I'm going to escape. By the time I get to 60 or 65, I'll leave this place and I'll go somewhere. I'll go to the place where I know, you know, the place that I know best. And
to be fair, that's most Africans.
Yeah.
With my parents.
Yeah, they will start moaning every day. every day about the condition, the weather. People immigrating to Canada and Australia and stuff because of the weather. In Australia, you get the sun most of the time, but here you don't know when the sun is going to come. Big problem. So when we have kids here and the system doesn't help, is that during the school days, you're not allowed to take them out of the school to bring them to Africa. But during the break, that is a high season. So they made sure that becomes a high season rather than
and commercially it fits.
Yeah, so if you want to buy a ticket there, that it costs you £1,000.
Yep.
If you buy it outside of that,
600 quid.
600 quid. So in a way, there's a conspiracy there to make sure that those kids don't end up there. If you got 5 of them, what do you do? If you got 5, what do you do? If you got 3, what do you do? So it's a big operation.
Yeah.
So you end up not doing it. So what are the kids left with? They're left with what they have here. So your culture doesn't really matter to them. They can see it, but they don't identify with that culture because it's not theirs. This is more like what they know, what they believe in, and what they are willing to accept or manage. So
it's a process of education, I think.
some people are lucky. Some people are lucky that they find themselves in situations where the kids are actually showing interest, real interest in African culture, African lifestyle. Yeah, Africa as a whole. I think the Black Lives Matter kind of help a little bit in that sense, but I think for some time now that movement has gone a bit quiet. People have attacked it, the far right or the right wings, they've attacked it to the point where it's not mentioned much nowadays, and when it's mentioned, it's very bad.
It's the same thing with anything, though, isn't it? It's the same thing with any movement, anything in the news. It's almost always a temporary thing. I'd like to think there's been lasting changes in certain organizations. I know there are people who carried on a legacy from that to kind of work towards equality. So people don't necessarily always need to be shouting and protesting, and hopefully that initial shout for attention did something or helped make some change long term. So, but time will tell. So
time will tell. Yeah. And you don't remember when this thing started, I said, I'm expecting a new Bible. We've got to have a new manual. Because this manual no longer work with that car. You understand? So, is it the Bible, the religion that has to be in phase with the civilization and what people need, whatever deviation that people can bring and say,
well, as soon as you open the opportunity for someone to revise it.
Yeah, no, I said for all of these to make sense, or this religion will die. Christianity will die unless they can come up with a new Bible that will incorporate this new society standards or whatever. Because the old one so far is telling us that this is not acceptable. Yeah, that's what the old one is saying. Say this is not acceptable, and we should fight against that. And now you're saying us that, oh no, we can accept it. Oh, right, okay. Get the new manual out so we can use it to justify what is happening right now. But if we stay with the old manual, there is a problem. There is a massive problem. So that's the situation there. Waiting for that new Bible that will come with all of these changes in there. And now I leave it to them how they will call that new Bible, whether it's a reformed version or if it's the 21st century Bible.
I think you're missing something with that, Because I think what you're thinking of is probably already in motion.
Emotion.
There's sometimes when phrases are rephrased and the
Okay.
reasons given, and I think what will end up happening is they'll do it bit by bit
Yes.
in small. It won't be obvious, and it's this whole new thing.
Uh-huh.
It will just end up, before you know it, it won't bear resemblance to what it was before. And I think that's probably what will end up happening. Same thing with what you mentioned with the whole gay rights, where this is where they want to be, this is where they are. They won't just make this one step, they'll just make subtle steps in between.
And get the result in the end.
Mm.
Anyway, now it's
So,
interesting. I think the time for you to go and do your gym session.
Yes, get a coffee, hit the gym.
Is coffee supposed to keep you awake?
Mm-hmm.
Coffee supposed
Coffee
to keep
doesn't touch me really, it's just for warming up really.
warming up
Yeah.
for the gym.
Eh?
So before you start the gym session, you drink coffee.
Yeah, not every time.
Oh,
Sometimes
okay.
I do. I don't really take anything else. I don't take pre-workout, I don't take supplements, I don't take...
Are you supposed to?
Pardon?
Are you supposed
No.
to? There's no need for it.
No.
Nature has given
No.
us
I don't
enough
feel a
stuff.
need to. I
Yeah.
don't feel a need to.
Yeah.
I don't know why
If you
people
eat
use it.
well, you eat a lot,
Mm.
your body will grow bigger. So if you want to grow muscles,
Mm.
I think those things, it's a market, it's just the capitalism kind of spirit.
Perception. Marketing is all
Yeah,
about
that
perception.
when someone sees an opportunity to make money, they
Mm.
create a product and they
Mm.
push it to people.
Mm.
But people who are lazy eating,
Mm.
don't want to eat,
Mm.
that's a good shortcut for them.
Mm.
You can use that and get to the result. But if you eat,
Oh no, always.
you eat and you exercise, you eat, you exercise, you just bulk up.
Mm.
Natural. But
Yeah,
have you
if
had
if that's your aim. But
Yeah.
for me, bulking's never been an aim. It's always been functional fitness.
Oh yes,
Yeah,
yes.
rather than bulking. I've never been a one for bulking.
Right.
So
Okay. I'll see you when I see you.
right, I'll catch
Yeah.
you later, yeah?
Yeah, you take care, pal. See, bye bye. Right, guys, that was the end of the debate there. Tell us what you think in the comment section below. If you've enjoyed that, if you like that debate or not, let us know. Right, I'm gonna dye my hair again.
friend doing no harm doing it, so
Everyone's been alright, yeah.
Kanise kele kele. Yana kona bune. Yana wana nani. Okay, let's get some business going.
Brave the bunny. Domino, push him. Bye. Really? This is what we're doing. Come on, Domino. Show him how it's done. Let's go. Come on. Let's go. This is comical.
Hello.
Yes, how are you?
I'm doing alright. Oh, you died, yeah? Mine. How have you been?
Alright.
When did you dye your hair?
New hair.
New year, new hair.
Yeah.
Fair, man.
New hair, new.
What have you been up to?
Not much, man.
Seen you on TikTok live about 20 different times.
Different time.
Yeah.
Why different times? It was last time. It was like it was early. What was it? What was it last time?
Are you on live now?
No. It was a different time last time when we did it. Just to be 1 second. Man.
Yeah.
So what is this that you did?
What, dread?
Dreads. Oh, I'm on live from here and I forgot. Huh?
Yeah, I got dreads now.